Hello internet! Today I'm going to abuse the most broken tank in the game, Gepard, and show you how he single-handedly solo simulated the universe and can clear pretty much most content in the game. If you have this man and you're not convinced that he is really good, watch this video. To make him work, I firstly needed to unlock this specific trace, the one that gives me FRES. So I did, but I made Gepard work for it. He is going to solo the Cocolia boss. The fight started with me hitting the boss for 1 damage and getting instantly half health and frozen. Wow, he is trash. He can't even survive.
That's quite big.
Oh my god, Gepard. Oh my god, Gepard. No, no, don't be frozen, please. Not the freeze. No, no. Oh, no. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Oh, no, oh, no, yes, yes. Let me punch him. Let me punch him. Let me punch him. Let me punch him. Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I won first phase. If you're wondering why am I so low, well, if you notice, I get frozen sometimes, and if the timing is just right, the boss will actually have one small window of hitting me, and she pretty much did that for about 30 times and got me to this health. But it's over, guys. How am I gonna defeat this beast? I barely have any health left. Cocolia, how is it possible you let this happen? You had your whole meter jolly having-ass animation, man. How did you let a single Gepard solo you at 1 health? After humiliating that jolly wannabe, I obtained the 2 FRES traces. This is imperative to what I'll be doing later on. But before we move on, here is my Gepard's stats. I didn't even have everything leveled. Heck, there's a +0 planetary ornament right here. The boot, body, and one of the ornament are on defense percent main stat with some HP substats, some speed, and FRES as well. 2 of the stats I'm on all have defense increase and shield bonus effects. But you truly don't need all these stats for him to work. It's just that I want to solo simulate the universe, so yeah, I kind of needed him to be pretty good. I will now show you how he can solo most of the simulated universe. This is my trick. Pick Gepard alone and choose the Preservation Path Resonance. And I'm gonna start with World 1. After defeating a bunch of underlevel vermins, I obtained the Path Resonance, which allows me to deal physical damage to all enemies based on basically my shield amount. And now you'll have an idea what will happen. All I have to do is to get Gepard to have this thick and juicy barrier up, survive until my Path Resonance is up, and nuke them with that, similar to what I did to Cocolia earlier. I'm also able to obtain the Path Resonance upgrade that guarantees that it crits, which I used to slap almost 30k damage on the 2 domain bosses of World 1. The fact that this hits harder than some DPS says a lot, and that's World 1, which was a cakewalk since they're underleveled anyway. Next, I soloed all the way to the bosses in World 2. I also got the Fighting Spirit Blessing, which boosts my defense as well. With 3655 health, I've defeated them unscathed. Too easy. Next, we have World 3. This might be where the challenge starts because not only I have a single Gepard on my team, the enemy has a Gepard as well with friends to boot. But that didn't stop me at all because I destroyed every mob in a way, permafreeze this only because Gepard's skill can't do that, got stalled 10 minutes by these immensely annoying robots that ignores damage for 1 turn, permafreeze the other elite to death, and got the most broken blessing for this challenge, the Quake Blessing. This thing makes everything 10 times faster and 100 times more funny. Every time I'm hit, I'll deal Quake damage based on my shield. And since my shield is giga huge, this is what happens when the next elite hit me. Combine that with my Path Resonance, I destroyed that block of ice. And finally, I meet the bane of my existence, myself. I say that, but this fight wasn't even close. I also got another blessing that spreads the Quake damage to other enemies. So not only you have to die for touching me, your friends have to die as well. Before I even took a turn, the enemy has already lost 1/3 of his health from Quake and Path Resonance. Before long, the enemy decided to use the power of friendship to defeat the real boss in the room, me. After 1 Path Resonance and a few more Quakes, they all died. The enemy even tried to use his own barrier skill against me, which looked cute when 1/3 of it is gone before I even hit it. He then decided to call in his bigger friends, which died. And with the final Path Resonance, I soloed World 3 without losing a single
health point. Next we have World 4. This is where it got a little challenging. I realized that not having the quake damage makes me very slow in clearing the enemies since I can only rely on the Path Resonance. And this guy right here wasn't really a challenge, except enemies in Simulator Universe will randomly go berserk and just do more damage out of nowhere if the fight went on too long. Usually when you see this, you're dead. I don't think they designed this for some dumbass to survive it. It still wasn't managed to drop my HP at all, but 5 stacks of it later, I got half health. Another 5 stacks later, I died. You'd think this is over, but this fucking guy has a self-revive. I got back up and managed to just scrape by with a final shield boost into my Path Resonance. Close call.
Imagine being this guy though, after all of that effort to take me down just for me to stand back up right there and nuke you back. Like, this day is ruined.
Unfortunately, I didn't get the Quake Blessing throughout the whole run, and now I gotta fight Sparrow. I beat the first and second phase of him without much of an issue because he just couldn't hurt me. But unfortunately, he has a stackable damage buff every time he took a turn, and by the time third phase came, Sparrow has almost 25 damage boosts, and somewhere along the line called in 3 fucking hands on the screen. This is hell on earth. What am I even looking at? Unfortunately, I finally lost. Well, I came back and lost again. At last, a challenge. But not really though. I realized how often Sparrow attacks, so I knew all I had to do was to make sure I had the Quake Blessing next time, which I went ahead and did. This is what happens when you have the Quake Blessing and the boss keeps attacking you.
Nope. So.
I watched him kill himself in 5 minutes. Then came World 5. This is the world where Everest would prove useful. I got myself most of the Quake related blessings and went in. I walked up to Kafka feeling like the actual villain because of how cheesy I'm playing and jumped in. I needed Everest here because of Kafka's mind control. If I keep getting dominated by Kafka, I will have 2 immobilized turns. If the timing is bad for me, I will lose my shield for the final immobilized turn and she will be able to hurt me directly. Another gimmick with this fight is that she also have a stackable damage buff that can be applied every time she attacks. And every time she takes a turn, she attacks me like 2 to 3 times. So Gepard is very much up against it. Kafka was able to dominate me about 4 to 5 times on phase 1, which dropped me down very low. But thankfully, I have the blessing that heals me up when my health drops below 30%, which for the fact that my defense is that high, Kafka just couldn't finish me off. So I kept healing and spamming my barriers, and with the final Everest kicking in, I am able to defeat phase 1 by the scruff of my neck. Phase 2 went the exact same way. She just couldn't finish me off. And I kept healing and ulting again. So yeah, with the again final Everest kicking in, I'm able to defeat phase 2 pretty easily. I say that, but that really says 50 stacks of damage buff at this point, so yeah, kind of worrying. And here comes the final phase. Her damage at this point is almost shredding through my barrier, but still not enough to one-shot me completely. It's also thanks to the blessing that has a chance to dispel a debuff whenever I get a barrier that I'm able to avoid her mind control debuff a few times. Kafka takes a lot of damage for the fact that she keeps hitting me multiple times and suffered quick damage from that. With Path Resonance to boot as well, it's a matter of time before she falls. Gepard is at low health and will probably die the moment he gets dominated 2 more times. This is a battle of will, straight out of an anime. And again with the final Everest, Kafka takes the final bit of quick damage and is now at 1% health. That also really says 65 stacks of damage buffs, by the way, holy. And in the end, bask in blood, Gepard stands with his final stride forward, taking out Kafka through one of the most disgusting strat I've came up with. And there he is, the demon of Honkai Star Rail, Gepard. And then came World 6, but unfortunately I couldn't even beat this elite boss even with a Quake Blessing as well. The issue was the gimmick with this elite was that it charges up 9 stacks of gauge recollection. Every time I hit it, it'll lose 1 stack. By losing 1 stack of gauge, the elite will hit me 1 less time with its skill. Since I only have a single Gepard on the team and the fact that the enemy's level is pretty high already, I couldn't eat up 8 stacks of its skill even with my shield. Worst of all, that skill can land imprisoned on me, which further opens up a window for the elite to hit me directly. Even with that, I was still able to survive long enough that this going berserk thing happened, and at that point the elite just one-shots me while having more than half health left. So yeah, unfortunately I've deemed it impossible. The only way to win against that is to hit it more than one time or completely tank the enemy's skill rotation without getting debuffed at all. Oh, so I had to kill it fast enough before the berserk thing happens, or else I just get one-shotted. All of which Gepard can't do alone and without more blessings too. Maybe there's a blessing out there that could have helped me out here, but after quite a long time researching, I couldn't really find it. So there you have it. I've reached Gepard's ceiling. He cleared through World 1 till 5 alone and is able to even solo a boss in the overworld. I'd say that's a job well done. Now that you understand how good Gepard is alone, time to show you what happens when you do the exact same things but with a full team.
You are doomed to fail.
Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past. Tremble before my power.
We're not done yet. You are doomed to fail. A world devoured by iron.
Now or never.
Witness the avalanche.
Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
Judgment of eternal winter. Power of the preservation. World devoured by iron. Feel the freeze. The eternal freeze will bury me.
Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
I didn't even drop a single health point throughout World 6. If anything, I think just giving Gepard and Natasha at the side would have allowed me to duo World 6 as well, but you know what, maybe another time. Most people forget, but the Path Resonance does more damage the more barrier there is in your whole team, so yeah, it does a lot when you have a team of 4 and a high defense Gepard. With this team, I was able to clear out all the difficulty 2 worlds as well, based on the simple fact that they just can't kill me. And they also kill themselves if they touch me with Quake. Gepard is literally the highest value character that I have built. It's so safe and can auto most content since you just don't die. The Preservation Path is honestly the best one in my opinion if you have a Gepard in your team, because it does so much damage and Gepard's barrier is so safe as well. Perfect pairing. And there you have it folks, build Gepard right now and have the easiest time of your life. I'll be covering more Honkai Star Wars stuff, so be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you like the content here. Maybe a Gepard guide soon. And yeah, that is all for today. Take care.